Welcome back to another episode of Heartland Presents Let's Talk Tanning. We're doing a summit download today. We are with Jessica Snyder from New Sunshine. I want to thank New Sunshine for being our top sponsor of our 2026 events for both the UV Sunless and Wellness Summit and Mind Your Business 6. I can't believe it's been 6 years already.
Nice.
That will be coming up in June. And we really couldn't do these events without our sponsors, and they really do a lot, not only financially, but in terms of education and support and things. And so from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you, Jess, and the whole team that was with us at the event. You guys were absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Kristen. We had such a great time getting together with everybody and coming together in Kansas City. I love the location. I kind of liked the dreaminess of the snow too, I'm not going to lie. But we are grateful and thankful to be a part of your events and just enjoy, of course, just the time with the Heartland team, but also, of course, our customers and all the vendor partners. But there's just something magical about bringing everybody together. And I will say this, Heartland does a fantastic job at bringing people together, but also giving everybody all the feels, those warm, happy, friendship, family, tan family type feels. So thank you.
Oh, well, that's our jam. I mean, we want everybody to feel included and welcomed at all of our events. So I'm glad that came across.
Absolutely. Every time.
I wish the weather would have helped us a little more. We did have a heavy snowstorm and freezing temperatures, which I know a lot of people had quite the trek home after the event. But I think all in all, everybody had a good time and people braved the weather. And I can't be more grateful for them for taking their business so seriously to literally risk life and limb to be with us.
Well, I feel like too, that's just a part of life in itself, right? I feel like you cannot always control the outcome of every situation. You have to just kind of roll with the punches. And those of us that are in business and those of us that have our partnerships between manufacturing and of course our distributor partners, we can't control the weather. We can't control, the time of the year and what happens. Sometimes things are just going to, they're going to happen because they're supposed to happen. And I think the way I always say it goes back to we can only control how we react to it. Right. And I think there's somewhat of a freedom in that for all of us that did come. We made the choice, you know what, I committed, I'm still coming and I'm not going to fret about it. And I think that the people that did come and kind of push past those boundaries of oh my gosh, is it going to snow or am I going to get stuck here? I think that because they pushed past that and they had that kind of freedom there, it was fun. It kind of felt like you were trapped in the hotel at the last night. I mean, we were out and about the first couple of nights, but that last night was awesome because restaurant reservations were being canceled and couldn't get an Uber. But there was something really cool about everything that happens for a reason. We all kind of hunkered down in that hotel, restaurant and bar, and we all were together in one spot, and it made for the best time that was just chill and relaxed, and everybody got to kind of hang out and mingle together. So again, it kind of goes back to everything happens for a reason. And I think that's just life. We have to kind of roll with the punches. You can't control everything, but you know what? The weather was really pretty. We were inside, we were warm, we were covered, and looking outside a couple of the moments that I did get to go out or explore a little bit, I was man, it's really pretty. There's something pretty magical about that. I think we'd all survive really good. If we went to Tahoe or Aspen and got snowed in or something, we'd be fine.
I didn't get to sit in on your training class because it was a packed room. So tell me a little bit about the training and how it went.
Well, it's always a good sign when you have to pull in more chairs and when there's standing room only in the back. So a big thank you to our CEO, Marty, who pivoted really fast and was bringing in chairs from other rooms, and then people were standing in the back. So we were happy. We were really stoked about that because at the end of the day, you can only hope for that, right? I was really excited to see kind of everybody pack in and fill out the room. And Kylie and I, of course, have this really unique chemistry and dynamic together, working together. And we really enjoyed it because the intention was, of course, product training, right? Go through all the New Sunshine launches and give our customers a really good scope of all of our amazing products. But it's great, sometimes when, again, you can't always plan everything, but our audience had such great questions. And so those questions kind of led off to these different roads that were really educational. So like maybe we rushed through or had to skip through a few of our products because of time, but I felt like the feedback that I got and like the main feedback that we got was, I love when you guys do that because you guys are not so committed to like, the schedule. You're like, let's just kind of see where this goes. And I feel like because we do that, we're able to like kind of take these roads where all of our customers walk out like, wow, that was a really cool discussion, or we didn't hear that talking point before from New Sunshine, and I learned so much. So one of the examples was like, somebody said, what do you do when like customers say they have like really sensitive skin? And it like kind of broke into like this whole conversation of us kind of educating our clients in the room. Like, New Sunshine is dermatologically tested and we put all of our products through rigorous testing. We meet EU and California compliances, and like people in the room like walked out, they're like, we didn't know all that. And you didn't have to like go into this like long discussion of like, proving who you were. You just stated some simple facts that we remember, and now we get to take back to our stores and help overcome that objection. So I love those moments. Those are, again, those unplanned moments end up being some of the most educational.
What was the most popular product that you guys went over?
Oh my gosh. I mean, obviously anything designer skin, designer skin Starlet. But I mean, I thought it was cool, like when we got into like Abroad and like Mirage and Contessa. I would say these were some of the products that like I would say we kind of took a risk on this year, and with their fragrances and with their packaging and their price points. And it seems to be like all the customers have been giving us like really, really positive feedback, but also like the Dermadark enhancing spray. I know, right? Everybody was like, wow, I did not expect this to look like this. I didn't expect it to smell like this. So some of these products that like just started shipping, like Electric City or Golden Legacy, and then the Dermadark enhancing spray, for people to see that now in person and like touch, feel, and smell it at your show, that was like one of the first times that they got to do that. That really created a lot of excitement behind our product. So that was really cool.
I don't know if you've seen our TikTok yet, but Tina did a TikTok yesterday on the Dermadark spray and the Electric City, because her tan is chef's kiss. It is so beautiful. So beautiful.
Look, oh my gosh, and let the marketing team know. No, thank you for letting me know. I feel like sometimes I'm always like a little behind on these posts. So thank you for letting me know. I'll have to check it out. That's really cool. I love that feedback.
Yeah, she's telling everybody, don't sleep on this. She's like, you can use them separately, but combine, and my gosh, like I pray for a tan that looks that good.
Yes. And I know that's something that we're so really cool. Our kind of a little off subject here, but Emma, our marketing manager, as you know, was at your event. And I love having her there because just naturally like good social content, but also just like a great learning experience for her as well. And she recently has hired on some new people to her team. And so we're really excited because one of the bits of feedback that we received, kind of going back to your TikTok video, is, show us more tutorials or demos or like walk us through like some of the multi-uses of some of these products. And so that's something that we're really excited to like do in the next few months is like, for example, like the Dermadark enhancing spray or like the JWoww bronzing drops. Like, how do you use these? What are some of the ways or tutorials that you can show us how to use these and sell these to help incorporate into our daily lifestyle? So I'm really excited about that.
I know in-house we're Bridgerton fans.
Yes.
And of course, Bridgerton just came out with the new season.
Yeah.
And Contessa. So we're already like going down that rabbit hole with like Contessa and Bridgerton and all of that. So the timing on that was perfect.
I love that you picked that up because first off, Contessa is like one of my top 5 favorite lotions ever. And this year, of course. But I just thought, I was always like a Downton Abbey fan, right? And then like, I love Little Women. If you've never read the book, or like Wuthering Heights, which I'm just starting to read again for like the second time with the movie coming out. But, my daughter's name is Johanna, but we call her Jo because of Little Women. So like anything in that era, I don't know, there's just like the little girl in me just like loves that era and just loves the kind of, oh God, there's a word for it. Like, it's just so like alluring, there's just something so unique about that era. So I'm with you. Absolutely.
I love unique because I think that product is unique as well. So it fit.
Definitely. Different than anything, right? Yeah.
So you guys also did some brainstorming sessions, and those were also packed. The feedback I got from the brainstorming sessions was that they wish they went longer. One person left and she's like, I took 7 pages of notes. Yeah. There's so much information. Tell me about the classes that you did.
Yeah, I have to give you guys massive, yes, I agree, massive kudos. I loved the brainstorming sessions. I think that, we've done some brainstorming sessions, of course, at like Mind Your Business, but there was something really special about this room. Okay. Like we've done them in like the round tables, and then we've also, done them in this like bigger room. Right. And I felt like you don't really know how it's going to go. Like your round tables are really cool because you have like smaller groups, but then in this room, you've got a lot of people. But what I thought was so cool is that we had this brainstorming session proved that you can do both models. You can do it in a round table, smaller style, or a bigger room. And I don't know, parts of me kind of liked the bigger room because I think what it did is it allowed the people who maybe just want to listen feel more comfortable. But then because there's a lot of people in the room maybe that have good ideas, it also kind of helped balance like that one person always talking, if that makes sense. Like sometimes you get a smaller group, it's like you feel like there's the one or two people that like have to fill all the time, and then you feel like they're the one always talking. But I think it holds people accountable to like, hey, maybe other people in this room want to talk because there's a lot of people. So it kind of balanced out like who was giving feedback and who wasn't. And I love that it kind of created a space for people who just wanted to sit and listen, that they could sit and listen. But then also, knowing me, like I know a lot of these, I know a lot of these partners, and I know a lot of these members in the room from just doing business with them over the years. And so it was kind of cool for me because I felt like my job was to kind of keep that conversation going and flowing. And like I would share a few little nuggets or tidbits to get the conversation going. But then the whole goal is like to get everybody in the room talking and learning from other members, right? But because I know people, I could like easily pull in, like I could be like, hey, Kristen, you know what? I know I don't want to put you on the spot, but like you're a professional when it comes to this. Like I did that to Victoria at one point. I was like, hey, Victoria, like, hey girl, you haven't been saying much in this session, and I know you're holding back. And she's like, oh, Jess, okay. But she jumped in because I knew what this was like up her alley. Like this is something that she excelled in. And so it was cool for me to be able to pull her into that conversation. So I would say, first off, every session we had was packed. I still am having follow-up conversations with every person that like I had follow up with. Like we're still having conversations from those brainstorming rooms. Okay. And which is so cool that we're even still talking about it. But I also felt like, yes, I agree. The conversations could have went longer, and I'm sure a lot of them did go over because it just kind of gave everybody the opportunity to either listen or share, but at the same time, like on a more broader scope than like a smaller table, which smaller is not bad. But there was something about getting a lot of people and a lot of brains moving. You might not agree with what everybody is doing. And I think this is important to state. You're not going to agree with what everybody is doing. And it maybe even sounds absolutely stupid to you. But at the end of the day, no idea is ever stupid, right? Like I feel like we have to listen to everybody, hear out what they've done, what's been successful, what hasn't been successful, and take all of those thoughts and opinions and then formulate what's best for us. And so I think that's my favorite thing about those brainstorming sessions is like never making anybody feel dumb, but rather taking a moment to either educate or help bring them up to speed. But then at the same time, like still get other salons who maybe have been doing this a little bit longer to really think outside the box and maybe try something different. Right. So I loved it. It was my favorite part of the show for sure.
That's one thing that Jessica Stone said in the owner's discussion. She's like, there's not one size fits all for anybody. So, what might work for one person might not work for another, but getting all of the ideas out there, it's just like fishing, like, oh, I could do that. Oh, I could do that. Or you take it and put your own spin on it and go, another direction with it. But yeah, I love it. Any standout advice or nuggets that you can remember from the brainstorming that really just stuck with you?
Yeah, one of the things that really, in this, obviously your summit was a UV Sunless and Wellness Summit, right? We began in this industry as UV tanning. And then we branched out, I would say heavily in the last decade into Sunless. Okay. And then I would say the next decade, we all know, is this expanse of wellness. Okay. And I'm here for it. We're here for it as a manufacturer. I think it's so smart as a business. But I think we have to be really careful to not forget where we all came from. And that was UV tanning. And so I think what really stuck out to me is we do have some amazing vendors and amazing salons who have been able to really expand their portfolio and their services. But I want to just remind everybody, like, you have to go at your own pace based on your own demographic and based on your own business model. And I have a lot of salons that are built on tanning, and they're still extremely successful because of tanning at the core. And so my biggest thing that I would take away is like, I am all for growth and change and developing and evolving. I'm the type of person, I love evolving. Like I love change. Like I embrace every bit of it. I love the products that we're coming out with. I love the wellness services, even in my local tanning spa. But I always just want to remind people, like, don't ever feel a pressure to, because somebody else is evolving this quickly or this fast, that you have to go that fast too. Now, if your numbers are showing that you need an evolution and change, then yes, I'm encouraging you to follow that trend. But don't get yourself so caught up in that mix that like you go too fast that maybe you put yourself in a bad financial position. So just, I would say my biggest thing with people right now is pace yourself, look at your numbers, look at the industry as a whole, and then like absorb all this information. And maybe you do it in baby steps, and that's okay too. You know what I mean? But look at the numbers, look at like your evolution, and do what's best for your business. And I think that's the biggest thing that I took away is like some people maybe felt some pressure, like, wow, do I need to do this like all overnight? And my biggest advice to them is no. And even as a manufacturer, like we're pacing ourselves. Like we're still primarily making UV tanning products and sunless products because that's the core of our business, right? But as an industry, we are changing. And so we will evolve and change with the industry and create these amazing wellness, skincare based products that will meet the demands of our industry. And we're going to go at the pace that we feel the industry is going to meet those desires and those needs. So I would say next year, Kristen, we will have a very big year of evolution and change as a manufacturer to meet the evolution and the changes of some of our customers. But I just wanted to get on here and remind everybody that, again, just because everybody else might be going faster and you feel like you have a little bit of that FOMO, or maybe you feel insecure after some of these shows because you can't move or you're not moving as quickly, just go at your own pace, but be honest and truthful with yourself too. If the numbers aren't there, then this might be a good time to start introducing some of these wellness services, but at your own pace. That's my takeaway.
I completely agree. And as a tanning salon, I think the first step should be understanding skincare and understanding products and how to best help your customers transition from, yes, I want to be dark, but actually taking care of your skin and using quality products and doing all of the things. Because once you master that, then it's the next step going into more wellness services and things like that. So I completely agree.
And I feel like don't like, and sorry, just to add one more thing, like I also remind people this too, like maybe you're not in a financial position to like right away get all this equipment. Like again, maybe you're staggering it out. But what I keep reminding people too is like, for example, with like the JWoww Sunless line or the JWoww skincare line, there are incredible wellness based collections that you can pick up essentially for free. And what I mean by that is like, you're not making this massive investment right out the gate, and try testing the boundaries in those areas. Because if you haven't mastered, your sales when it comes to UV, if you haven't mastered your retail sales when it comes to sales, if you haven't mastered the skincare side, like what you just said, then you have to master these like skills and these techniques and these numbers before you even introduce another service, right? Because then that service could completely flop. So I just continue to remind people like growth is needed, and you see that there's still growth in just your retail sales with your current business, then that is your focus for the season, is to getting retail to be just as important as the service and to meet those needs and meet those numbers and those goals. Because if you can't master that, then how are you going to master the next step in your business? So again, we created these other lines so that people have other opportunities outside of just investing in all the equipment right up front. I'm not saying not invest in the equipment. You should, but master the skincare part first. I would agree with you on that. That's a great bit.
So we can't really talk about the summit without talking about the welcome reception. The Golden Glows, Australian Gold, actually it was a new sunshine, but Australian Gold was kind of like what kicked it off for our brains, because the theme for the event was gold, and we're like, gold, like Australian Gold, the Golden Glows. Like I thought that it was an amazing party.
I did too. First off, thank you for making Australian Gold the theme of that. Obviously I know New Sunshine, our sponsorships, blah, 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 blah. But like for you guys to really take it that direction was so cool. And, we celebrated last year our 40th anniversary of Accelerator, especially. And so we loved that theme. We were here for it. Black and gold, so easy to coordinate. I was like so impressed how everybody just came up and showed out. Some of these people really got dressed up. I'm like, this is so cool. But I would say my favorite part was that venue. You guys did a really good job at sourcing, just getting away from like the hotel property per se, and kind of getting but again, we didn't have to like go full out in the snow, right? But I loved that view. It was so pretty. It was so classy. It was one of the most classy events that we've done in this industry. And I just thought, and then of course celebrating Tammy. So it all kind of like tied in like together. This theme was really special because, we're celebrating our customers, celebrating our Australian Gold brand. We're celebrating the success of Heartland Tammy and her, oh my gosh, what was it? How many years has it been? 30 years. Okay. So like, here we go. Right. So just celebrating all of that was so cool. And the vibe was like electric, and it was fun. And it wasn't, I was like, just like on my bottle of dark desire. That's what it reminds me of. Like it's overstated, but not understated, right? Like it's understated, overstated, where it's just like that perfect balance. Like we didn't need a lot to do, but what we did have was like really well done and really classy. And I just loved it. I thought you guys, it was just like a good classic pair of black heels. Like it was, or a good black dress. Like it was just done so well. And I felt like a lot of people were just kind of relaxing and talking. And I think that's what you guys were going for anyway. So I thought it was perfect. I loved it.
Yes, yes. Another reason for people to come together and share ideas and just be in the company of people that understand what you're going through on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, it was so good. I caught myself quite a few times just kind of like, taking a moment to like look out the window and just like taking that view. And it was just so pretty with the snow. And yeah, it was really, really well done. You guys did a good job at, again, making it like feel really nice, but not overdoing it. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like we have to just like overdo so many things, but the party was just like, you guys wanted the most important part to be, the conversation, the drinks, the view, and the people, and you did a good job at that. So good job. I loved it.
So, my favorite thing from the event was your giveaway bag. My gosh, I wanted to win that myself so bad. It was remarkable.
Thank you.
What was your favorite part of the event?
Oh, I love the giveaway bag, and I have to tell you guys all really funny stories. And Kristen probably knows a lot of this because we work on these bags, every season. And one of my biggest things is to theme the bag around the event, right? So that's one of the first questions I always ask you is like, hey, what's the theme? What we going after? Because like when we did like the Mortician at Mind Your Business, I was like, all right, cool, let's do ocean views. We're always going to incorporate some of our products. Obviously, we know the core of it is all the other great things, but our products just kind of complement that, right? And so I love to kind of take it in that direction. Like, what could we incorporate? So I remember like we did like a North Face backpack and like a really cool water bottle, like a travel pack kind of, and it was so fun. So for this one, when we're going after this kind of like black and gold, Golden Globes, like I was like, this is so fun for me. And so I always say to Kylie, like, hey, put together some like your favorite ideas, gold and black, like think like Australian gold, like the glow standard. Like I was giving her all this inspiration. And so we have like a spreadsheet that we were in, like a PowerPoint that we were working off of. And I had been out of the office for a couple of weeks, and I was getting ready to like make the purchases and like put together the flyer and the PowerPoint for Kristen and like, add up the value and everything to make sure we had a really solid prize. Kylie had sent over her notes, and I was dying laughing because I would, look up links because she would send me links. Okay. And then I would like look it up or whatever. And I just have to die because like, we did like, I wanted to bring together also like the high end factor, right? Like Chanel lip gloss, like who would ever buy themselves a Chanel lip gloss, right? And then I had this Rebecca Minkoff bag that I get so many compliments on. So I had to incorporate that because it's gold. And then, Voluspa candles. And so it was really fun. We got to pick these like gold gifts. And then one of the links that Kylie sent me was a all gold bathtub. Okay. And I'm just dying laughing because like, I'm like, all right, I'm almost done with this. And she's like, hey, did you see the bathtub? And she's like, are we getting it? Are we putting that in there? I was like, oh my gosh, Kylie, but I know why she does it. She does it for me to like make me laugh because, that's one thing I think I said at this summit. Even I said in one of our speaking engagements, I said, guys, we have to remember, I think I said it multiple, like, at the end of the day, we have to remember to have fun. If we're not having fun, then why are we doing this? Okay. Because we do have an industry that is fun. Not everybody can say that their job is fun. Okay. And so I just wanted to like remind everybody of that. And I just thought it was funny, like my own coworker who like knows like at the forefront of like every message of every event of every day is have fun. Okay. And I mean, Kylie and I begin our days with like, funny inside jokes that we type back and forth to each other. And so I just thought like I had to tell everybody that, because that was like one of my favorite parts, like that I took away full circle, is like always have fun. And so yeah, I love the bag. So thank you. Sorry, I had to speak on that bag and tell the funny story. But I would say my favorite part of the event, I love the structure. I love how well you guys, everything felt really balanced. Like, you have your breakout meeting rooms, and then you have your broader discussions. And then we have like our big event space where we brought everybody in the next day. And you have your big, meeting room where we just put everybody all into one room. And then of course, like the trade show floor. So I think my favorite part was just that balance. I think you guys did a really good job at balancing out every part of a trade show, and also balancing out like the schedule, like making changes so that people could catch flights or leave earlier if they drove. And I thought that was really cool. You guys did a great job at just like adapting. And so I got to give you guys massive kudos that. But again, going back to like Heartland, like my favorite part every Heartland event is I feel like I walk out and I kind of just like hung out with friends and I got to do my job. And so like that's a really special thing that you guys cultivate with your team, with your leadership, with your vendor partners, is like, I walk out like that was work. That was so fun. Like we had a great time. But yeah, my favorite part was definitely the last night, dinner reservations getting canceled. I'm up in my room going to get ready for dinner, and we had a big group going, and the restaurant calls me and they're like, your dinner reservations are canceled. We have to close early. We have to send our people home. And I was about ready to get all dressed up. And then I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. Hung up the phone and I was like, sweet. And I said sweet because I got to like put on a sweatshirt and go back downstairs and like order a beer. And that was just like, there was something really special about, again, your plans changing. Everything happens for a reason. I love a good fancy dinner out, but the fact that I got to contact all those customers and then get everybody involved, like, everybody got to be a part of just us all hanging out, was like so cool to see everybody just kind of like in chill mode. And because we don't get to see each other in that mode all the time. So I really liked that. It was a new side of some of these customers. I've seen them in a bathing suit at Mind Your Business. I've seen them on the trade show floor, but I have not had the opportunity to just kind of like see them like chill, laid back, and just like hanging out all together. I really loved that. It was special. So thank you.
We kind of joked internally that everybody bring nice pajamas, and if we all got snowed in, we were going to have like a big Heartland pajama party in the lobby.
I loved it. I would have been there for it. You know me. I love it.
So, what was your biggest takeaway from the event?
I would say, of course, some of the new. Well, I always love it too because you build on your relationships with these people. Some of these people like we've known now for 15 years, right? And that was cool because I had some customers that I hadn't seen in person for a long time, and so they came out to the event. I thought that was really cool, and just to hug them, be in person with them, not always on the phone, which is great. But also just like some of the new relationships that were formed, like some people that maybe this is their very first time in the industry, or they are coming back to the industry, or they're looking to expand their services, so they came out to the show. I always like love those new relationships too. Like I feel like me, I just love bringing people in and helping them feel supported in this industry, because I know at times it can feel really overwhelming. And so I would say I'm walking away with like some really good new relationships that feel very authentic, that we're like helping to coach and mentor on the other side of your show. And I think I'm also just excited for like the future of like what's to come. Every show we do, Kristen, I itch to like talk to you guys afterwards. Like, what are we doing next? I don't know why. Why is it like that? It's kind of like when somebody has a baby and they're like, when are you having your next one? But for me, it's like, I itch because we take away so many good things. And then there's so many things that we're like, oh my gosh, let's do that again next time, but let's do this next time. So I feel like that's one of my favorite parts of the show too. It's just like, how are we always going to be evolving and changing and becoming better in the future? And that's something that Heartland is really good at. And especially you, Kristen, your openness to just like talk about these things later on or afterwards is always really special to me. So thank you.
We're already full steam ahead on Mind Your Business. And as soon as we got back, we started that. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not actually going to be able to attend NYB this year, correct?
As of right now, I'm so bummed, but if I go, it might be just for like one, maybe for just our pool party. but at the very beginning. But we have a family vacation every year to the Nashville CMA Festival, and it's a big concert if anybody doesn't know about it. But we are so blessed. We've been going as a family for like 10, 15 years now. I don't know, somewhere in between there, as a family, and it's just a privilege to be able to go out and be a part of that event, because I know some people would like kill to even be a part of a 4-day country music concert, and we've been going for that long with my stepdad. So it just so happens that it coincides with the same week they switched the week for the CMA festival, because they're taking down the big Nissan stadium and rebuilding the new stadium, so they had to like do a quick little like change in the dates or whatever for this season. If I go, it will be, sorry, there's my son. If I do go, it'll be for like maybe just the very beginning. But you know what? Kylie will be there, and a couple other, I'm sure Emma will be there, a couple other members of our team. So I will miss everybody in person this year, but I'm excited for you guys because I know it's going to be a solid season. So I'll let you guys all know, but I think right now it might have to be just like one or two nights, and then I have to hit the road with the family. Got to put that family first, guys. I got 2 kids these days. Speaking
Oh
of,
yeah.
they're literally one of them sneaking in the background right now.
Well, we will miss you if you
Thank
aren't able to be there, but I know that the rest of your team will be there, and of course the legendary New Sunshine pool party is, I mean, it's a staple that people look forward to. So super excited about that. Anything new coming up from New Sunshine that we need to be aware of?
Okay, so what I'm most excited about, I would say in typical New Sunshine fashion, is that we like to always come out with these mid-season launches. And I know right before your summit, we made an announcement that we were going to be launching a few products. And at your show, I think was the first time that we showed it. And that was on JWoww Unstoppable, Starlit Tan Extender, a new JWoww serum. And then we also have the Dermadark now is finally shipping. So that was really exciting for us. Yeah, we have some products that are finally starting to ship and get into the stores. That was really exciting. But I think the JWoww Unstoppable, the Starlit Tan Extender, and then, the G for Gentleman Refined Moisturizer, which was highly requested for a new men's moisturizer. So, yeah, we've got some really exciting new mid-season launches, some add-ons. But I would also say coming up in the spring time as well, we also have a few other mid-season launches that everybody's going to be really excited to learn about. So we've got more. We launched this like little round of JWoww Unstoppable and Starlit, and that was all exciting. But we have even more coming for, I would say, spring, right before springtime. So that'll be exciting.
So you heard it here first, everybody. Start planning now. You'll have different products that you can launch all throughout the season,
Yes.
which smart.
Well, and I think
Very
that was our feedback last year, is like customers like love that we did the big heavy launch in the beginning, but they also liked that we had like products that were still kind of rolling out throughout the busy season. So yeah, we're going to continue that trend because we know it really helps sales. And yeah, we want to keep that momentum all season long. That's our goal.
That's a great strategy. So what upcoming trainings do you have? You guys always have like really good trainings every month.
Thank you. Yeah, I know like we really walked into like this new year with like a really heavy goal for webinars to keep them very concise, like under 60 minutes or less. So right now I would say content wise, like you got a pretty good like 50 minutes of content in all of our webinars, because you have your opening notes and your closing notes. So if you do ever join our webinars in person, always note that like the first couple minutes are going to be like housekeeping, kind of like run the drill type of like things, announcements, things that we have to make. And then like the closing will always be kind of like closing notes, right? So I would say a good 50 minutes of content, which is really cool. And I think our focus this year, and we kind of like launched this season in our first meeting we did like a strategies with leadership, and we did 2 parts because we didn't want to cram everything all into one. And that was our thing. Like, let's just not cram, let's just kind of space things out and not do information overload. So our strategies this year will definitely be on, and you're going to hear us say this word a lot. We said it at your show, is just modernizing. I think I would say the last, I've been at New Sunshine 14, 15 years, right in between there. And I feel like, for the first 10 years of my career, we trained a particular way, right? It was very driven on product knowledge, and a few kind of like basic sales tips, like smile, greet your customer, like these things that like all of us should just be mastering on a daily basis. So but that's changed, right, Kristen? So like, I think from a training perspective, New Sunshine is just really excited to like continue to modernize and push the envelope on like making staff members feel comfortable behind the counter and just create conversations naturally. It seems to still just be like a point of, but it's hard for people, right? Like, how do you have a conversation with people who are like constantly rushing, you know? And so, and then I would also say, like, for ownership on like, how do you develop your staff members? So I think we're going to have a lot of just like modernizing and pushing the envelope and coming up with new ways to just motivate staff. And then, you know, we do a lot of regional based trainings too throughout the season. We're going to work with, we would love to work with Heartland on a couple different regional locations. That would be definitely some of our goals. And just to get back out there in person a little bit more. So our goal would be to definitely try to find some hotspot regional locations where we can work with different distributors or different vendors to help create a really quick, fast, you know, 1 day training summit, but like that's affordable for people to come or in a regional location. So we're going to look into that a little bit. I know I've discussed with like Jessica Stone as well, like maybe some areas that we can collaborate on. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
That would be awesome and very timely, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, any last words for our podcast listeners?
I mean, just thank you. I mean, what Heartland is doing is so cool. I mean, you guys are really creating, you know, you have your vendor partners, you know, who of course we have our own training platforms, but you guys are continuing to emphasize the importance of always growing and always learning. And you're doing your you know, something that's so unique and different. And I am just very grateful to be partnered with you guys, very grateful for the way you continue to broaden education for our mutual customers. And I think kind of like just closing thoughts is like, you know, thank you for being such a great partner and bringing people together. And thank you for being just fun and emphasizing, you know, that we are, although a very big, very small, very big industry. And I think what we mutually share is just the support for our customers and always developing ourselves, but also developing them as well. So closing thoughts would be you guys do a really fantastic job, and your passion and your care is just top notch and equally shared with those of us at New Sunshine. So thank you.
Well, I hope that we bring value to everybody and everything that we do. You know, we really, if they don't succeed, then we don't succeed. I mean, you feel the same way, I'm sure.
Yes. Oh, 100%. Like I always say, I like to get out like those kind of like awkward formalities right away, like where people are like, oh, is she just trying to sell to us? Or are they just trying to earn my business? And I always like to say, yes, I am. Like, let's just get that like out, like, you know, the awkward thing out in the room. Like, I want your business because if you're successful, then I'm successful. So I don't think like, I like to like kind of stab that thing right up front. Cause sometimes there's that awkward, like, is she trying to like, you know, she just trying to sell us or she just trying to get our business? And like, the answer is absolutely I am. Why would I not be? Right? Like my goal is to partner further together with all of our customers so that we can all be successful. And if we have the tools and the resources and the mentorship and on the partnerships to be able to do that, then I think why not? Right?
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. It's always a pleasure to have you on. We'll have to do this again real soon.
Yes, absolutely. It's absolutely our pleasure. Thank you for having us. And I look forward to doing it again soon.
Right. Till next time, everybody. See ya.